I'm Phyllis Jackson. Welcome to Stay at Home Connect.
COVID-19 cases up now in 31 states. The COVID tracking project showing that the test positivity rates are up in 25 states. Georgia, among over a dozen states, holding steady. Doctors say there's growing evidence that COVID-19 could cause sudden hearing loss. A study published in the International Journal of Audiology reports that of the 138 COVID-19 patients reviewed, 13% reported a change in their hearing. Doctors believe the virus is known to cause blood clots in other areas of the body and think this could be happening in the very small blood vessels found in the inner ear. Other challenges included tinnitus, or ringing of the ears. The CDC now acknowledging that coronavirus is spread through viral particles in the air. The agency's website previously stated that the virus was mainly thought to be transmitted between people within 6 feet apart from each other and through respiratory droplets when an infected person talks, sneezes, or coughs. The updated version says it's commonly spread between people in close contact and spread through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person coughs, sneezes, sings, talks, or breathes. It also says infection can occur if those particles are inhaled into the nose, mouth, airways, and lungs. Local hospitals are gearing up for what could be a rough winter of COVID-19 and the flu. I recently spoke with WellStar infectious disease specialist Dr. Danny Branstetter.
Tell me what WellStar is doing right now to prepare for, this onslaught of a potential twindemic. How are you guys preparing the public and preparing for what could be an increase in hospitalizations?
Yeah, great question. So much like our start in December of 2019, when we knew the coronavirus was happening over in China and Asia, we prepared. So we were thinking about what's possible this fall and making sure that we have necessary equipment, necessary supplies, training our personnel what to look for, and doing screening methods, asking the right questions. And then thinking about how do we expand our capabilities if needed. So it's all in preparation. Have a great emergency preparedness team in WellStar. So it's been really good to see them in action, and kudos to them for all the work they've done. The second thing is we're preparing the community. So talking to people like you, Phyllis, who's getting the word out to help the community prepared for what they need to do to stay safe. And then we're making sure that people understand the importance of staying healthy. Going to your doctor, making sure your chronic diseases are managed well, your diabetes, your COPD, your heart failure. And then vaccinations, right? We know that they're helpful in influenza. So we are encouraging everyone to speak to their care provider about, do they need it and is it safe for them to get it? And if it is safe, then I would encourage everyone to get a flu vaccine. It's only going to be helpful in not only reducing the spread of influenza, but also just keeping you as healthy as possible. So if you happen to have any other complications this winter, it reduces the risk of you having a further added double, as you call, twindemics.
Atlanta City Council member Cleta Winslow honored as part of an Unsung Heroines mural. The event, held near the Goodwill thrift store on Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, was part of this year's Elevate Art Festival. Councilmember Winslow says she's honored to be acknowledged.
These are people that have been committed to the West End and Westview communities, but even with that, they've been committed overall to the city of Atlanta in terms of making this city better.
That's a wrap. We'll see you on the next edition of Stay at Home Connect.
Each election year, I'm reminded of the sacrifices that were made so that I could exercise my right to vote. I think about the fear that must have gripped the hearts of those who placed themselves in harm's way, opening the door for me, you, and future generations. These were incredibly courageous men and women. Among them, two of our nation's greatest civil rights leaders, Reverend C.T. Vivian and Congressman John Lewis, who risked their lives so that we could cast our ballots freely. Let's not take the right to vote for granted. I'm Atlanta City Council member Michael Julian Bond, reminding you to get registered to vote. The deadline for the November 3rd election is October 5th. Go to registertovote.sos.ga.gov. That's registertovote.sos.ga.gov. Let us honor the memory of those who made our ability to vote possible. Don't let their efforts go in vain. Let your voice be heard. Use your power. Get registered and vote. Thank you.
I was just blessed to be able to be on the wall, not knowing that I was going to be here until a couple of days ago, and somebody sent me a photograph. But I mean, I knew Hattie Watkins, who is the mother of Willie Watkins, and who helped to get the funeral home here in West End. So most of the people on the wall are people that I know, people that I've worked with. So these are people that have been committed to the West End and Westview communities. But even with that, they've been committed overall to the city of Atlanta in terms of making this city better. And I don't know of any other place, now that I'm going through my mind, where there are women that are being honored. So this is truly something great here in this city.
It's 12:30, so I'm going to go ahead and start with our introductory remarks, and then maybe our last few members will have joined us. So good afternoon. This is Councilmember Jennifer I, the Chair of the Finance Executive Committee, today is Wednesday, October 14th, 2020. It's 1:30 p.m., and this is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Finance Executive Committee. We do have a quorum, so I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. And I know we have with us today Councilmember Andre Dickens, Councilmember Madeline Archibong, Councilmember J.P. Maxikite, Councilmember Matt Westmoreland, Councilmember Howard Shook, and Councilmember Joyce Shepard has an absence in for today, and so that does comprise a quorum of the Finance Executive Committee. And also, I know I have Council President Felicia Moore on the line with us today, and I believe Councilmember Marcy Overstreet is going to be with us when we get to an item that she is the sponsor of.
Yes, Madam.
Do I have any other council members?
Yes, sadly, Shook is here.
Okay, and we have Howard Shook with us as well this afternoon. So before we go any further, I'm going to ask Ms. Kempson-Wright if she can read our remote meeting statement.
Yes, Madam Chair. This Finance Executive Committee meeting is being conducted remotely as advertised and as in accordance with the Official Code of Georgia 5014-1. The meeting will be conducted in conformance with Robert's Rules of Order and the Rules of Council as authorized by the City Code. The public may access the meeting by the following conference bridge: toll-free access 1-877-579-6743, conference ID 831-599-1256, which was noted on the Friday, October 9th public meeting notice. The public may also view the meeting on Channel 26, citycouncilatlantag.gov, or the Council's YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter pages via at ATL Council. All presentations are available on the Atlanta City Council Finance Executive Committee presentation page. The agenda was published and made available on Friday, October 9th via atlantacitygA.iqm2.com. Public comment was accepted between the hours of 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. on yesterday, Tuesday, October 13th. All persons present on the remote council meeting conference bridge are requested to mute your phones and speakers. Additionally, speakers must be acknowledged by the presiding officer prior to speaking. Each council member is requested to open your Outlook email and minimize the screen. Amendments, substitutes, and informational documents were distributed to committee members beforehand. Thank you all in advance for your cooperation.
Thank you, Ms. Kempson-Wright, and I will just let my colleagues know eBoardroom, it's not my lucky day with eBoardroom, so I may be a little bit slower on making my way to the agenda items because my agenda wouldn't load. But next up, we are at the adoption of our agenda and approval of our minutes. So I will make a motion to adopt our agenda for today with no changes.
Sure. Second.
All right, second by Shook. Let's open the vote on the agenda.
One moment. The vote is open.
All right, I'm seeing 5 yeses, 0 no's. Is that the right count, or do we have somebody who didn't get recorded?
Westmoreland needs to be a yes, please.
Okay. Let's add Westmoreland to the list. Matt Westmoreland needs to be a yes. He was not able to vote remotely.
Yes, ma'am.
So that makes, okay, I can see it now. So that item, the agenda has been adopted with 6 yeses, 0 no's. Next up, I'll make a motion to approve our minutes from 2 weeks ago.
Second. Second by Shook.
All right, second by Shook. Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
Mr. Westmoreland, what's your vote?
I am a yes.
Okay. All right, so with Mr. Westmoreland, that's 6 yeses, 0 no's. Our minutes have been adopted. I believe that brings us to our public comment, which last I checked, we did not have any public comment for today. Is that still accurate?
Yes, ma'am, that is still accurate.
Okay, so we are going to go to our presentations and status report. We had 2 for today. The hotel motel tax update was done electronically through a presentation in our committee packet. So if you haven't had a chance to look at that, you can be glancing that over, and we are going to take a credit card policy update with Ms. Yolanda Carr first. We are ready for Ms. Carr if you're ready for us, and let me know if you need any help getting online.
Hello. Good afternoon,
we can hear you
council
now.
members. Oh, you can hear me now. Okay. Santana, I'm not for sure if you have the presentation. If we can go ahead and put it up. Hello?
I believe it's up.
Oh, it is. Okay. All right.
Yep.
So when we look at the credit card, I want to start off by talking about the credit card policy that we have. I can't see it on my end, so I'm going to speak from the copy that I have in front of me.
On our end, Ms. Carr, we're on the cover page of it. So just go ahead and speak, and we'll try to get we'll get it clicked through as you speak.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Again, this is Yolanda Carr, the Department of Finance. I wanted to talk about the credit card presentation that we have before us. If we go to the next page, the Ordinance 1901-004 was adopted January 23rd, 2019. This established the official formal credit card policy. With our credit card policy, we have predefined merchant categories. For instance, when you have a credit card, you can only go to certain locations to utilize the credit card. There are also legal consequences when there's an abuse against the credit card. Some of the items that are prohibited in the credit card policy include cash advances, gift cards, alcohol beverages, personal dry cleaning, fuel, mechanical repairs, and maintenance of personal vehicles. Also, in addition to that, services not directly related to the official business of the city. Also, as a part of the credit card policy, each card holder is provided with a copy of the policy, and it requires that a signature is placed on the policy so that policy holders are aware of exactly what they can use the card for. Next slide, please. So on slide 3, we have the actual credit card that we have with Wells Fargo. We started off with Bank of America a few years back, but we moved over to the Wells Fargo platform. And so with Wells Fargo, there's a credit card that each commissioner will have in addition to the Executive Protection Unit. Next slide, please. So on this particular slide on page 3, the number of cards by division, we have 6 for department chiefs, 3 for the executive department, and 8 for the protection team. So in total, we have 17 cards. Next slide, please. On this particular slide, we wanted to talk about the spend by department for FY20. For APD, we have $66,000. For corrections, $12,000. Department of Aviation, $8,000. Executive Office, $19,000. And Finance, $32,000. And Law Department, $32,000. So again, this is a spend category for the fiscal year July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020. The next slide, please. The next slide, we have a chart that will show you the various expenses by department. Of course, APD, this is the Executive Protection Unit. We have business travel. We also have training expenses and also subscriptions. And really, this is a deeper breakdown of the slide that I just showed you before. We also have the breakdown for corrections, again, aviation, executive office, Finance, and Law. Next slide, please. This, again, is just a high-level presentation regarding the credit card policy that we put in place. Again, it was put in place on January 23rd, 2019, and we just wanted to come before you and share with you the actual presentation that was required as a part of this ordinance. So at this time, I'll pause and answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Carr. Let me see who, I believe I have Mr. Matsakite up.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for the presentation. I just wanted to ask, I found it interesting that the largest expense category looked to be business travel, and I would assume that business travel was cut down significantly due to COVID-19. How does business travel actual expenses compare to budgeted business travel?
So that's a very good point that you make, Council Member. So with this particular category, we're looking at it for a fiscal year from July 1st, 2019 to June 30th, 2020. And so when we look at it, the business travel accounts for, and if we go back to the previous slide, Santana, can you go back to slide 5, please? I believe it's 5. So when we look at the budget versus actuals, most departments are within budget compared to their travel expenses. And with the credit card, this is really for commissioners and then also the executive protection unit.
So, question, how does business travel compare to budget, actual to budget?
So right now, that is on target because most departments have already budgeted the amount for FY20, which is the fiscal year that we're looking at, and so it is on par.
Okay. Even though probably for a quarter of the year we were locked down, I'm presuming March through June.
Correct. That is a good point. March through June, we didn't see as much travel due to the pandemic. And so March through June, we had little travel, really no travel to that extent, when you look at the overall credit card expenses for the city of Atlanta.
Do you know how business travel compared to fiscal year 19 to fiscal year 20?
We can take a look at that for you, council members, and provide an update.
That would be great. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions while we have Ms. Carr here on the credit card policy? All right. Well, thank you for being with us today, Ms. Carr. We appreciate your presentation.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
So we do have Mr. Watson and Mr. Gaffney available if anybody had questions on the hotel motel tax update. And if people need a second to look through that, we could run through the ordinances for first read also. So just we are going to let's move into our consent agenda. When we finish that, I may circle back and just see if anybody has a question on hotel motel. So Ms. Captain-Wright, can you read our ordinances for first read?
Yes. Item number 1 is 20-1624, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee to authorize the Chief Financial Officer to pay outstanding invoices for Special Procurement Agreement, SB 8865, Online Security Awareness Training with Security Mentor Incorporated, on behalf of the Department of Atlanta Information Management in accordance with Section 21163, in an amount not to exceed $26,294.00. Item number 2 is 20-1625, an ordinance authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to pay outstanding invoices to Cox Radio Incorporated for recruitment digital advertising services on behalf of the Atlanta Police Department in accordance with Section 21163, in an amount not to exceed $60,000.00. Item number 3 is 20-1626, an ordinance to ratify sole source agreement FC 10196 and authorize the mayor or her designee to exercise contract renewal option number 3 for contract FC 10196 PRISM compliance monitoring software. Application suite in support with Early Morning Software Incorporated, retroactive and effective from July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021, in accordance with Section 21163 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, and an amount not to exceed $95,310.00 on behalf of the Mayor's Office of Contract Compliance. Item number 4 is 20-1627, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee amending Chapter 2, Article 10, Division 9, known as the City of Atlanta Small Business Opportunity Program, Section 2-1369-1B, so as to remove the requirements for notarization of the joint venture agreement, waiving the joint venture notary requirement contained in Section 2-1369-1B of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code. Item number 5 is 20-1628, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee amending Chapter 2, Article 10, Division 12, known as the City of Atlanta's Equal Business Opportunity Program, Section 2-1450C, so as to remove the requirements for notarization of the joint venture agreement, waiving the joint venture notary requirement contained in Section 2-1450C of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, Article 10. Item number 6 is 20-1629, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee in accordance with Section 21153, Article 10, to ratify and exercise renewal term option number 2 for a cooperative purchasing agreement FC 10117 with Automatic Data Processing LLP for a term of 1 year retroactively effective from May 16, 2020 through May 15, 2021 in an amount not to exceed $158,647.48. Item number 7 is 20-1630, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee waiving the competitive source selection requirements contained in Section 21187, Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, and authorizes the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to enter into an amendment to extend the term and add supplemental funds to SB 9841, Automatic People Mover Systems Switch Refurbishment Project with Bombardier Transportation Holdings USA at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, and to ratify services performed from May 14, 2020 in an amount not to exceed $47,850,000.00. And item number 8 is 20-1631. It is an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee to amend the Atlanta City Code of Ordinances, Part 2, Chapter 3, Section 3.3, to authorize the Chief Transparency Officer to administratively update the published list of the records custodians and the open records coordinators for each city department, office, bureau, or similar entity, the Mayor's Office, and the City Council pursuant to the requirements of the Georgia Open Records Act and for the purpose.
Thank you, Ms. Kempson-Wright. So those 8 papers will follow their course to full council, and we'll come back to us in 2 weeks for our consideration. Before I close the door on it, does anybody have a question about our hotel motel? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Madam Chair, I do have some questions. I'm just not in a position to look at the report, so I will ask my questions offline.
Okay, thank you so much, Council President. Mr. Gaffney or Mr. Johnny Watson can answer any questions that you have about that. All right, so moving on to our ordinances for second read. Item number 9, 20-1606, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor or her designee to enter into sole source agreement number SS-S-1200549 with TriTech Software Systems, Inc. to purchase Public Safety Systems, Inc. CAD support retroactively effective September 30th, 2020 through September 29th, 2021, in accordance with Section 163 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances for initial term of 1 year with 3 one-year renewal term options on behalf of the Department of Aviation and Atlanta Police Department in an amount not to exceed $670,321.57, all contracted work to be charged to and paid from funding numbers listed here and for other purposes. And I believe we have Ms. Amanda Pritchett to speak to this paper, and I'd just like to hear, I always want to hear why we do sole source agreements. If you could just tell us what the justification for the sole source was, that would be great.
Good afternoon. So the reason this is a sole source agreement is because PSSI TriTech is actually the only technology. I think it was bought by Central Square Technologies in 2018. It's changed names a couple of times. But our CAD system, our computer-aided dispatch system, is very specific to this software alignment. I can speak to the technology just at the surface of it. I'm not very technical, but because there's not another vendor who can service and support our existing CAD system, it's important that this agreement be signed as we're transitioning into a new CAD system. Of course, that will then be obsolete.
All right, that makes sense to me. Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Pritchett? Otherwise, I will make a motion to adopt.
Shook, seconds.
All right, let's open the vote. Mr. Dickens and Mr. All right. It looks like we need Dickens and Westmoreland. All right, this item is favorable, 6 yeses and 0 noes. Item number 2, Ms. Kempson, right, does the substitute change the caption on item number 2? Item number 10, I'm sorry.
Yes, it does. The amount increases and the dates change as well.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second to. Do you mind reading the caption on? Well, do you mind telling me what the date change is in the amount?
Yes, Madam Chair. 1 second. The date change is effective August 1st, 2020 through February 28th, 2021. And the amount is now increased to $113,709.96.
All right, $113,000.
$709.96.
Okay, I apologize. My technology's not cooperating. Okay, so item number 10 is 20-1607. And we do have a substitute. The caption is an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee to ratify cooperative purchasing agreement FC 9758, IBM Oracle ERP Managed Services and Support Services, and enter into change order number 2 with International Business Machines Corporation to extend the term of the agreement for 4 months, retroactively effective from August 1, 2020 to February 28, 2021. And add funding to the agreement in an amount not to exceed $113,709.96 on behalf of the Department of Atlanta Information Management, Department of Aviation, Department of Watershed Management, and the Department of Public Works in accordance with Section 2-1163, subsection C of Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances. All contracted work to be paid, charged to and paid from the funding numbers listed herein and for other purposes. And so first I'll make a motion to bring forward the substitute that had those changes to the extension date and the amount.
Shook, seconds.
All right, let's open the vote on bringing forward the substitute.
The vote is open.
All right, that is favorable, 6 yeses, 0 noes. So the substitute is before us. I'll make a motion to adopt. I believe we have Mr. Brantley with us if anybody has any questions about the paper.
Shook, seconds.
All right, let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
All right, this item is favorable on substitute, 6 yeses, 0 noes. Our next item is item 11. And it's back to Ms. Pritchett. It's 20-1608, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor or designee to exercise renewal term option number 2 of sole source agreement FC 10510, smart licenses and maintenance services with Rave Wireless Incorporated, doing business as Rave Mobile Safety on behalf of the Atlanta Police Department for a renewal term of 1 year, retroactively effective beginning September 11, 2020 through September 10, 2021, in accordance with Section 2-1163, subsection C of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, an amount not to exceed $89,100 with one remaining 1 year renewal term option. All contracted work to be charged to and paid from the funding numbers listed herein and for other purposes. So, Ms. Pritchett, is this for the license plate readers?
No, ma'am. This is actually for Smart 911. So this is a resident entered data that goes into our CAD system. So citizens are actually able to go in and create an account, enter additional information like medical information, building information specific to them. So when they call 911, we have additional information to get first responders. This is another sole source that would be a niche to the 911 applications that are available to us. It enhances our ability to provide that public safety to the citizens.
Okay, that's great. Anybody speak up if you have any questions? Otherwise, I'll make a motion to adopt.
Shook seconds.
Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
All right, this item is favorable, 6 yeses, 0 noes. Item number 12, 20-1609, an ordinance of Finance Executive Committee to amend Ordinance 20-1346, adopted by the Atlanta City Council on June 1st, 2020, and approved per City Charter, Section 2-403, on June 10th, 2020, by correcting the department organization number for the Department of Public Works and correcting the department organization number and function activity number for Renew Atlanta Bond and T-Plus program for renewal number 2 of Sole Source Agreement FC 8344, Enterprise Geographic Information System software licenses, maintenance, and technical support with Environmental Systems Research Institute, Inc., and for other purposes. This looks like this is just a housekeeping paper to correct the incorrect account string. So I will make a motion.
And Shook seconds.
All right. Let's open the vote. All right. This item is favorable, 6 yeses, 0 noes. Item 13, 20-1610, an ordinance of Finance Executive Committee authorizing the Chief Financial Officer on behalf of the Department of Atlanta Information Management to accept a revenue share in the amount of $529.55 from Changing Environments, Inc., and authorizing the CFO to amend the fiscal year 21 Smart ATL Trust Fund budget by adding to anticipations and appropriations in the amount of $529.55 and for other purposes. I've been told this paper is no longer necessary, and Mr. Brantley has requested that we file it, so that's my motion.
Second.
All right, let's open the vote.
Vote is open.
This item is filed with 6 yeses, 0 noes. Item number 14 is 20-1611, an ordinance by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor who does need to enter change order number 1, LC 9950, Peachtree Creek Truck Stabilization with Ruby Collins, Inc., Southeast Consortium, JV, on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management in accordance with Section 2-1163, subsection C of Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, authorizing additional sewer improvement services, additional funding in amount not to exceed $1,211,545, extending the term of the agreement for 497 days, retroactively beginning November 20th, 2019, through March 31st, 2021, to add funds to increase the owner-controlled contingency in amount not to exceed $88,455. All contracted work shall be charged to and paid from the Fund Department organization and account number listed and for other purposes. So I will make a motion to adopt. All right. I believe we have Ms. Browning, if anybody has questions about this change order?
No.
Then let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
All right, this item is favorable, 6 yeses, 0 noes. Item number 15 is 20-1612, an ordinance by Finance Exec authorizing the mayor to waive the competitive source selection requirements contained in Section 2-1187 of Article 10, Procurement of Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances to extend contract FC 9375 A and B with HealthStat Inc. and Kaiser Permanente of Georgia for health center management of the on-site employee wellness center on a month-to-month basis for up to 12 months. Effective October 29, 2020 through October 28, 2021, on behalf of the Department of Resources, an amount not to exceed $2,500,000, all work to be charged to and paid for the listed herein and for other purposes. We do have an amendment that we need to make first that changes the extension period. I believe, let me just. Is that correct, Ms. Kempton, right, that the amendment changes the extension dates?
Yes, ma'am. It changes it from up to 12 months to actually extend it for 12 months.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to make that amendment first.
Shook seconds.
Let's open the vote on the amendment.
The vote is open.
All right. That was 6 yeses, 0 noes on the motion to amend. If anybody has any questions about this wellness center contract, Mr. Amos is with us today. Otherwise, I will make a motion to adopt as amended.
Yeah,
Mr. Shook.
Yeah, thank you. Now, I'd like to hear Mr. Amos talk about the kind of current status of the Wellness Center and what's going on there.
All right, thank you. First of all, Chairman, Ide and committee members, the Wellness Center is basically functioning and not in a full capacity, but we do have HealthStat that's there, and they've been there. They're providing virtual care. They're doing some triage, and as most of you know, they're kind of partnering with us to provide the on-site COVID testing that we're providing to our first responders and essential workers. And we've been doing that since August, and we've, as of last week, had about 600 or so people who have gone through the test with less than 1% positive results. In addition to that, we're working with them. They are starting to provide the flu shot for our first responders and essential workers. We've already started with both police and fire. And what will happen is that they will offer the flu shots in conjunction with the coronavirus testing for the remainder of this year. The facility hasn't been officially reopened to see patients, so we're working with the mayor's task force and the chief health officer to put in place a process that we will at some point in time in the near future be able to open up the facility to do some triage work, but not at a full capacity. So we are working with the partners, and obviously we're doing the best to try to provide the services we can for our employees.
Thank you. Second.
All right, let's open the vote on the paper as amended.
The vote is open.
All right, this is favorable as amended, 6 yeses, 0 noes. Item number 16, 20-1616, an ordinance by Councilmember Andrea Boone to amend Ordinance 17-0-1606 adopted by the Atlanta City Council on October 16, 2017, to approve the City Charter Section 2-403 on October 25, 2017, to include language authorizing the mayor or her designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to enter into FC-9334 business license and cashier management system with Tyler Technologies, Inc. for a business licensing and cashiering software solution for the Department of Finance and for other purposes. And we have Ms. Daniel with us on this. My only quick question to Ms. Daniel is, I'm assuming this is in your budget for this year?
Yes, ma'am. If you can hear me, this is Felicia Daniel. Yes, this was appropriated in our budget for this year.
Okay. Well, I will make a motion to adopt.
Second.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. One moment, everyone. We apologize for the delay. If everyone could just hold one moment.
Hello. I am back. Sorry about that. I don't know why my phone just dropped me off. But that item was item number 16 was favorable, 6 yeses, 0 nos. That takes us to item number 17, 20-1618, an ordinance by Councilmember Cleta Winslow authorizing a donation amount not to exceed $2,000 from the District 4 carry forward account to Ashview Heights Community Association to assist with needed improvements in the community and for other purposes. I'll make a motion to adopt.
Second.
All right, let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
All right, this item is favorable, 6 yeses, 0 nos. This brings us to our resolutions. Item number 18 is 20R 4426, a resolution by Councilmember Andrea L. Boone authorizing the mayor to enter into a special procurement agreement SP-S-1210080 Bridge Pay Payment Gateway Services for Intergov with BridgePay Network Solutions, Inc. for transaction gateway services between Wells Fargo and Tyler Technologies, Intergov on behalf of the Department of Finance, Office of Revenue, pursuant to Section 2-1191.1 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances for an initial term of 1 year with a 1-year renewal option amount not to exceed $120,000. All contractor work to be charged to and paid from funding numbers listed herein for other purposes. We need to amend the paper to add the special procurement memo, so I'll make that motion first.
Second.
Let's open the vote on the amendment.
The vote is open.
All right, that was 6 yeses, 0 nos on the amendment. I will make a motion to adopt as amended, and Ms. Daniel is with us if anybody has any questions about the paper.
Second.
Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
All right, this paper is favorable as amended, 6 yeses, 0 noes. Item number 19 is 20R 4430. Ms. Kempson-Wright, I know that we have an amendment on this paper, correct, from Ms. Overstreet?
Yes, Madam Chair, that is correct. The amendment would add additional co-sponsors. The names we'll be adding are council members Winslow, Shepherd, Archibong, and Boone as co-sponsors.
Okay, so let me read the caption. Should I read the caption with their names in it already? What's the
no, ma'am, we would need to write the proof in.
Okay, so item number 19 is 20R 4430, a resolution by Councilmember Marcy Collier Overstreet or urging the Georgia General Assembly to enact House Resolution 5309, commonly known as the Crown Act of 2020, which amends Code Section 8-3-201, Article 1, Chapter 1 of Title 20, and Chapter 1 of Title 34-3 of the Official Code of Georgia to prohibit discrimination in employment against natural or protective hairstyles and for other purposes. So there is an amendment to add additional sponsors to the paper, which are council members Madeline Archibong, Cleta Winslow, Joyce Shepherd, and Andrea Boone. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair, that's correct.
Okay, so I will make a motion to amend first.
Shook, seconds.
All right, let's open the vote on the amendment.
The vote is open.
All right, the paper is amended, 6 yeses, 0 noes. Mr. Shook, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure that this would also end discrimination against prematurely balding men.
I think you have to do your own paper on that one, but you are welcome to do that, and you may have some colleagues who want to support you on that. I will make a motion to adopt as amended.
Second.
Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
All right, this item is favorable as amended, 6 yeses, 0 noes. Brings us to item number 20, which is 20R 4432, a resolution by Councilmember Andrea L. Boone supplementing that certain Series 2020 bond ordinance, which is 20-1556, adopted by the Atlanta City Council on September 8, 2020, and approved by the Mayor on September 10th, 2022, among other things, set forth the terms of the City of Atlanta Water and Wastewater Revenue Refunding Bond Series 2020, including the original aggregate principal amount, interest rates, maturity amounts, and maturity dates, ratifying certain prior actions of the City Council and certain officers and agents of the City with respect to the issuance and sale of the Series 2020 bonds, ratify and approve the execution and delivery of a bond purchase agreement, ratify and approve the preparation, use, and distribution of a preliminary official statement and the execution and delivery of a final official statement in connection with the offer and sale of the Series 2020 bonds and for other purposes. And the request is that this item be referred with no recommendation to tomorrow's specially called meeting, which is Thursday, October 15th. At what time is our specially called meeting, Ms. Kempson-Wright?
It's at 9 o'clock a.m.
Okay. So that is the motion, that is the request from Finance, and the motion that I'll make is to refer it to the specially called meeting on Thursday, October 15th at 9 a.m.
Second.
Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
All right. This item is favorable, 6 yeses, 0 noes. Item number 21 is 20R 4451. A resolution by Finance Executive Committee authorizing. Mr. Westmoreland, did you want to speak on item 20?
Nope, 21.
Okay. A resolution by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor to enter into the renewal agreement number 2 for FC 10389 employee benefits with A, Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Georgia, Inc. for group health insurance, POS, HDHP,
Medicare Advantage Insurance, PPO, life insurance, dental insurance, PPO, dental, and administration of flexible spending. B, Kaiser Foundation Health Plan of Georgia, Inc. for group health insurance, HMO, HDHP, and senior Medicare Advantage Insurance, HMO. C, United Healthcare Insurance Company for Medicare Advantage Insurance, PPO, and voluntary vision insurance. D, Aetna Life Insurance, Inc. for dental insurance, D, HMO. E, MetLife Insurance for voluntary benefits, and F, American Family Life Assurance Company of Columbus, Inc. for short-term disability on behalf of the Department of Human Resources, an amount not to exceed $165 million and 0 cents to be charged to and paid from accounts listed and for other purposes. We do have a substitute to bring forward. Mr. Westmoreland, do you want to speak now, or can we bring the substitute forward?
Substitute's fine.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to bring forward is it a substitute, Ms. Kempsey-Wright, or an amendment?
It's a substitute.
Okay, to bring forward the substitute that is going to add an Exhibit A and include the cost of each agreement to it.
Second.
All right, let's open the vote on the bringing forth the substitute.
The vote is open.
All right, that was 6 yeses, 0 no's to bring forth the substitute. Mr. Westmoreland, would you like to hear Mr. Amos present this paper first, or do you have an initial question you want to ask?
Yeah, no. Presentation first is fine.
Okay.
Okay, Louis Amos here again. There is a brief presentation that I have. And I want to make sure everybody has it. I know there's a delay, so if you can confirm today where it has it, I'll go through it real quickly and then be able to answer any questions that you may have. So, Madam Chair, can you go ahead?
It's in our packet, yeah.
Okay, all right. So, I just go through the slides on, basically on slide number 2, just to talk about the process. As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, we will not be offering face-to-face open enrollment meetings. Basically, it's going to be a virtual process. The Employee Benefits Office will not be able to provide in-person assistance. Active and retired employees will basically, if they want to make any changes, they will need to do that through ATL's cloud self-service. The support that we're going to be offering, I know this is a little bit different. We have a telephonic support line that will be provided. In addition to, there is a benefit website that we've had all along. That site will be updated. And then this year we have an email box where participants can send information to this box, and we will respond accordingly. On page 3, we will be sending out an open enrollment self-mailer, and that will go to all of the active and retirees. And basically, this self-mailer will just give them vital information in terms of self-service, how to enroll, how to go through the help desk, the insurance premiums, information once again about the telephone support line and the mailbox. The website will be updated. There is a video that will offer our participants an opportunity to learn more about the plan, and then, basically talking about the vendors. Number 4, there will be no vendor change. We will be going as indicated with all of the current vendors. This is the last year of this current agreement. And so there's no plan changes on any of the plans. There's one slight enhancement with the Kaiser Medicare Advantage plan. Slide number 5, as it indicated, vision, life, and voluntary products, there's no vendor change. So the changes for this year, as most of you know, we are in somewhat of a deficit in terms of the insurance fund. So we've been working with finance in terms of trying to develop a plan to address that, in a 3 or 4 year period. One of the things that we are doing this year is we're increasing the rates. The estimate is about a 16%, but to soften, in essence, the blow in terms of the impact on the employees, we're changing the contribution from right now currently for the employers is at 71%. that's going to change to 74%. And for the employees, it's at 29%, and that's going to change to 26%. So what I have here on this slide, number 6, is basically to show you what the impact is going to be, because we really, when we talk percentages, we really want to talk about it, what's the impact. So under Kaiser HMO, for an active employee, for an employee only, they're looking at $3.39 increase on that bi-monthly paycheck, and then you can see for Blue Cross Blue Shield is $3.68. So that's, the increase in the all the way down. As you can imagine, the family, you're looking at $11.18 on Kaiser and $12.05 on Blue Cross. For our retirees that are in the currently 7129, you're looking at for Kaiser HMO, it's about a $7 increase, and for Blue Cross, it's about $7.90 increase. Let me kind of explain something here. As I said, we made no plan changes. We have one of the our deductible is $500, so that's kind of an unheard process in today's time. And then the thing about it is our co-insurance is at 10%. So we have a very, what I would say, it's a great plan. It's probably one of the best plans that's offered. But as you can imagine, we have to, with the rising cost of healthcare, and to address some of the other concerns, we had to look at raising the rate. One of the things I do want to point out is that on slide 7, Medicare Advantage plans, we've been fortunate enough to really hold those rates down. And in fact, as you can see, there's actually a decrease for those participants that are in the Medicare Advantage plans. For example, those who have Kaiser HMO Medicare Advantage, they're looking at a $5.97 a month reduction. So, and those reductions, as you can see, is throughout the Medicare Advantage plans. And the good thing about that is that allows us to pretty much offer a very competitive plan for our retirees, especially those who are Medicare eligible. And it protects the city from a claim perspective because it's a fully insured plan. And basically, once we pay these premiums, everything else is covered by the vendor. The next slide is one to really just also point out for those retirees who retired after 2010 and that was higher prior to 86. There is some significant change for them because remember right now they're at the 5149, but changing that to the 5446, you'll see what those increases will be for those who are in that category. But once again, when you look at it from the standpoint of the $500 deductible, 10% co-insurance in the plan in terms of what it covers, we feel it's still a great bargain. Slide number 9. Couple of quick things. Employees, active employees who are in what's called the flexible spending plan and dependent care, because of IRS guidelines, we're not able to roll them over for the next plan year. So they will have to go in and make a selection in terms of if they want the FSA for the following year. And the rest of the slide basically just talks about the website, the telephone support line, and the mailbox. So I will pause right now to answer any questions that anyone may have about this process.
All right, Mr. Westmoreland, you're up first.
Thank you. I had 2 questions earlier. One was, are there any changes? And you've already gone through that. Second question is, do we offer a PPO option for all employees or just those that are eligible for Medicare Advantage?
So the PPO option is basically only offered to those retirees who reside outside of the state of Georgia that is in Blue Cross Blue Shield. So what we have is a POS plan that's administered by Anthem, and then the HMO plan that's administered by Kaiser. The Medicare Advantage plans, they are in fact PPO plans, which, as you know, that's pretty much ran through the Center for Medicare Services that pretty much deal with those plans. But we don't offer just a basic PPO plan to our employees.
And why is that?
Well, traditionally from a cost perspective, PPOs have been a little bit more expensive. And like I said, we're going through an RFP next year, and that will be something obviously we'll be able to discuss. We'll be working with the consultants to see what's in the best interest for the city moving forward. But as you have seen in most cases the PPO plans are a little bit more expensive, and that was the reason why we really hadn't offered it. It's been probably 10 or 12 years since we offered it.
Okay, and there'll be an opportunity next year to have a conversation about changing that?
Yes, exactly. Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Ms. Westmoreland. Mr. Matsakite.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you for your presentation. Just wanted to be sure that I understood the math on the increase here. Did I hear you say that there was a 16% increase in the cost of the benefits?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And then we also increased the percentage that the city pays compared to the employee. Okay. So, and we increased that by how much?
Well, it was a 3% switch from 71 to 74, and so employees was reduced from 29 to 26.
Okay. So, this math won't be quite right, but the employees' rates went up by 13%, and the city's rates will go up by 19%. Is that accurate generally?
Yeah, that's if you're using the same base rate, but once there is an increase, so you have to kind of break it out based on the 74-26 breakout, because what happened is we took at the rate that it was last year and then increased that base rate by 16%.
Yes. Right. So. Yeah. It'd probably be closer to 20% for the city. But do you have the how much the benefit cost increase per the city?
Yes, I can get that. We're working with finance to get that total number. You're speaking of the projected cost for 21 or the current cost for the past year?
So the current plan to the plan that is projected for next year.
Okay. Yes, I can have that information. I'll work with finance to get that to you.
Yeah. Okay. And how do if you could also supply what the actual rates, the premiums are, that would be helpful as well. For our retirees.
So with that, are you looking for the current or the proposed moving forward? Because the proposed rates are included with the legislation, and I can provide you with the current rates.
Yeah, if you could just put together a simple chart that shows current rates and proposed rates, that would be very helpful, so we could see how that goes. So for a retiree medical plan, could a retiree who retired from the city and goes and gets hired by another company, could they still be on our city medical plan even though they had access to a plan from another employer?
Yes, sir. Under the current environment, under the current process, administrative guidelines, they can. One of the things is that the way the structure is set up now, once you retire, you're immediately eligible for retiree benefits if you obviously are vested and meet those guidelines. But what happens if you elect not to take those at the time of retirement, then you will basically forego them for the remainder of your life.
So I just want to be sure I understood. So if you don't elect the first year,
yes, sir.
You can never elect. So if you did elect,
if you
do elect, then you're probably never going to unelect because you can't re-elect. Is that? I know that's a bit confusing.
Yeah, for the most part, what typically happens, as you saw in the information, our retiree plan right now, the contribution rates are, right now it's 51.49. I mean, the proposed change is 54.46. So the rates are a little bit higher, probably than what you would get if you were working somewhere else and had access to medical plan. So what will typically happen in most cases is that an employee, a retiree, will maintain the life insurance, dental, and vision, and each year, obviously, they're eligible to enroll. So what happens is a lot of times once they get to that Medicare age, then they will opt back into the city plan, because of the Medicare Advantage rate, so it's more advantageous.
So you can go back in if you opt out?
Yeah, but you have to maintain coverage through one of the city plans. You can't just totally opt out, what I'm saying here.
Yeah, okay, maybe we can talk about this offline because I'm not following yet. I don't want to hold up everybody, but it seems like this is very unusual and something that most employers wouldn't offer. Same question, if a spouse has access to care from an employer, are they eligible for care under the city's benefit plan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, these are some provisions that I think are pretty extraordinary and very unusual, and most companies don't offer these type of provisions. They exclude coverage if you have it through an employer from somebody else, and I don't understand why we don't offer a competitive plan to our employees. And so, I've been harping on this for probably 2 or 3 years, and anyway, so that's all the questions that I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Matsakite. Mr. Shook.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you to Mr. Matsakite, and I echo his concerns and look forward to the follow-up. My somewhat higher altitude question is, to what extent were these plan provisions farmed out to the work source, and what did you hear back?
Well, we really hadn't had a chance to really talk extensively with the workforce, but as you can see, the rates are extremely, the minimal increase as you look at it based on what's going on in the healthcare industry. Most folks are looking at 10 to 12% increase without knowing what the impact of the coronavirus is going to be on healthcare costs. So, there's a lot of variables. I think had we made some significant changes, for example, in terms of increasing your deductible to $1,300 or $1,500 was typically offered in the industry, then our concern would have been obviously it would have made a greater impact. But keeping the plans the same, not really increasing co-pays and anything of that nature, we felt relatively comfortable that our employees would understand, because we're in a time where the healthcare costs are increasing significantly.
Well, I understand all of that. I guess my question is, to what extent was this proposed plan disseminated, or was it at all?
No, sir, we haven't had a chance to do that. No, sir. I'll be working with Interim Commissioner Norman to have that.
Okay, so, this has been a kind of an annual occasion for heartburn in years past. I think this is the first time I can remember hearing that information was never sent out. And so I'll withhold and let other colleagues speak. Thank you.
Mr. Westmoreland, are you back in line?
I am. I got 2 follow-ups to Mr. Matsakite's questions. The different theoretical situations that Councilmember Matsakite laid out around if you have another job somewhere else, but you could still be on the city's health care, or same with the spouse, those are locked in under the current plan that we are renewing today, or being asked to renew today, or that's our choice and it could change at any moment?
Well, it's kind of locked in as the plan is being offered today. We would have to make changes in terms of eligibility and be able to communicate that from that standpoint. But those are some of the things that obviously we were looking at as we go through the next year's RFP process and really looking at how the plans are structured and what's going to be in the best interest of the city.
And then my second question is, I know you'll get us this before Monday, but if you had to ballpark the dollar increase year over year from FY21 to FY22, what would it be?
Yes, I can get that number. You'd probably be looking at 10 to 12 million, but I would get that number.
If you had to guess, what would it be?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said between 10 to 12, but I would.
10 to 12, got it. Okay.
Yeah, 10 to 12 million. But I would, obviously want to be able to provide, more analysis.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Westmoreland. I can't remember, Ms. Kempson-Wright, did we have we had amended, we had substituted the paper, but do we have a motion pending, or do we need to make a motion?
If we can make the motion to approve and substitute it.
Okay. I will make a motion to approve as substituted.
I have a condition I'd like for us to consider. I can't remember the health care plan not being presented to the workforce, and so my proposed condition is that it be sent out for their review.
Mr. Shook, do you think that can happen between now and Monday, or would you rather hold the paper and have that done?
Mr. Amos, what say you?
My recommendation is that we can send it out and share it with the employee groups, and obviously be able to have any means and any concerns that they may have. But hopefully that we can get it moved forward with the condition of the information being shared with the employees.
That feels unlikely to me that we can circulate it and we can get meaningful feedback by Monday. That seems awfully tight turnaround.
Yeah, but so for the benefit of the committee, here's the concern. Obviously, we want to be able to get the information to the employees, but we also, have some deadlines that we want to be able to disseminate the information to them about the whole process. So the goal was to try to get that information in their hands by the first week of November. So that was kind of the position that we were in.
I mean, I do also think this has been, I hear where Mr. Matsakite is really coming from, that this issue has been one that we've discussed over and over and over again. Of it's very expensive for the city, and it is not really the norm to have the kind of employee benefits that we retiree benefits that we offer, and so I think there is some hesitation from some of my members that I'm sensing of this question comes up and it sort of says we'll get to it, and maybe it's because it's not a very politically popular question to ask, but I don't know, Mr. If there's some, I'd like to a little bit get a sense if there are folks that aren't comfortable moving this forward either, with no condition or on a condition that can be met by Monday, or if people want to talk, spend some time on that broader question. So, Mr. Matsakite, Mr. Westmoreland, just to sort of feel you guys out.
I was planning on abstaining from this vote and waiting to get the rest of the information until Monday.
I was planning on abstaining or voting no because I don't believe these plans are competitive.
Well, I wonder if the better motion is a motion to hold it and discuss, and I know that doesn't really suit your timeline, Mr. Amos, but I also think there's some hesitation on this paper. I don't know if the hesitation can be fixed or not, but
my thought is that we can discuss, and I feel that we can fix it with the understanding. Obviously, the city's plans have been very generous over a period of time, But obviously, as we move forward, we really need to take an in-depth look in terms of working with some consultants and looking at other public sector entities to determine what's in the best interest for us moving forward.
What would be the impact if we held this for 2 weeks to put our heads together a little bit more?
I think the most significant impact is going to be a timing from the standpoint of being able to get the information out to both the employees and retirees, since we're dealing with a scenario where there won't be any in-person meetings, so we're having to rely, unfortunately, on mail to really get the additional information. While we do have the benefit website available, but it's always, for a lot of folks, it's always nicer or best for them to be able to have that information in hand. So that's one of the concerns. The open enrollment period was slated to begin on November 9th through the 23rd. So that, and with that time frame, obviously there will need to be some time at the end of November 1st of December to get the eligibility information to the carriers in order if anybody's making changes, if there's a need to get ID cards and get all that stuff disseminated for a January 1 effective date.
I don't know. I think I am going to withdraw my motion to approve, and if somebody else wants to make that motion. But I'm sort of on the same page with Mr. Matsakai that we've been raising our concern about this very significant and very generous expense to the city that is more than we need to offer. So I don't know, Mr. Shook, if you want to make a substitute motion, but I'm going to take my motion out.
Yeah,
or if anybody else does.
No, a motion to hold. The rest of the workforce needs to be consulted, and I share the concerns raised earlier. That's my motion.
Okay, well, I would second a motion to hold, and I understand this, complicates timelines, but I also think that, we need to stop kicking this can down the road and try to have this discussion. Anybody else have questions for Mr. Amos before we open the vote on the motion to hold? And I am hearing that maybe we are having a technology issue and need to do a voice vote. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam
right?
Chair. Yes, please.
Okay.
And I would call each of the members' names to capture their votes. And this is the motion to hold, correct? The vote is open, and everyone, we're also just experiencing a few difficulties. If you'll give us a moment, committee members, the vote is open for you to vote. The vote is closed. This item is held on substitute, 6 yeas, 0 nays. If everyone would just give us, please, 1 moment. Councilmember I.
All right, can you all hear me now?
Yes,
Am I back on? Okay. All right, my apologies for that. AT&T does not want to cooperate with me today. Are we on to item 22?
Yes, ma'am, and you're going to take those as a block 22 through 29.
Okay. These are all refund papers. So I'm going to read all the captions at one time. Item number 22 is 20R4452, a resolution by Finance Exec Committee authorizing the CFO to refund $7,429.51 to Morgan Stanley Inc. for the purpose of reimbursing overpayment of 2017 business license taxes and fees, all funds to be charged to and paid from the Fund Department Organization account. Numbers listed herein for other purposes. Item 23 is 20R4453, a resolution from Finance Exec authorizing the CFO to refund $7,629.42 to Fox Glove Center for the purpose of refunding the customer based on overpayment of 2019 business license fees, all funds to be charged to and paid from the Fund Department Organization account. Numbers listed herein for other purposes. Item 24. Somebody needs to go on mute, please. All right.
Yeah,
Can everybody else mute for a minute, please?
Well, they're
Please
saying,
help me out.
Westmoreland, they're saying that the plan is
Mr.
retiring.
If our IT can mute everybody besides me, that would be great. I think we may be getting the CFO.
And then the other thing was just they want to communicate to.
All right.
We're just stupid.
I think, Mr. Counsel, we're hearing your other conversation.
Line muted.
I'm afraid I'm mute. Okay. I'm hoping that I am unmuted now and everybody else is muted. Item number 24, 20R4454, a resolution by Finance Exec authorizing the CFO to refund $8,838.31 to the Lofts at Chestnut LLC for the purpose of refunding based on overpayment of 2007 business license fees, all funds to be charged to and paid from the Fund Department Organization account listed herein and for other purposes. Item number 25, 20R4455, a resolution by Finance Exec authorizing the CFO to refund $42,490.49 to HOR Construction, Inc. for the purpose of reimbursing overpayment of 2017, 2018, 2019 business license taxes and fees, all funds to be charged to and paid from the Fund Department Organization accounts. Numbers listed herein for other purposes. Item 26, 20R4456, a resolution by Finance Exec authorizing the CFO to refund $30,166.79 to Overhead Door Company for the purpose of refunding customer overpayment of 2019 business license fees, all funds to be charged to and paid from the Fund Department Organization account listed here and for other purposes. Item 27, 20R4457, a resolution by Finance Exec authorizing the CFO to refund $7,788.65 to UF Teleradiology LLC for the purpose of refunding customer based on overpayment of 2019 business license fees, all funds to be charged to and paid from the Fund Department Organization account. Numbers listed here and for other purposes. Item 28, 20R4458, a resolution by Finance Exec authorizing the CFO to refund $5,761.85 to Barbizon Charlotte, Inc. for the purpose of refunding the customer base on overpayment of 2019 business license fees. Item number 29, 20R4459, a resolution by Finance Exec authorizing the CFO to refund $9,183.72 to Acadia Shutters, Inc. for the purpose of refunding the customer based on overpayment of 2019 business license fees, all funds to be charged to and paid from the Fund Department Organization account. Number is listed herein and for other purposes. And so we are going to take those items together. So that is 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29 that are all business license overpayments. Mr. Shook, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, I have no questions, so I'll move approval.
Okay, I will second that. Let's open the vote. Unless anybody has questions, I believe those would go to Ms. Daniel. Let's open the vote.
Vote is open.
And this was favorable. I'm sorry, I'm just seeing your hand, Ms. Archibald. I don't know if you wanted to ask a question before we voted.
No, after.
Okay, so 6 yeses, 0 no's. It's favorable. And Councilmember Archibald.
Ms. Daniel, I'm still waiting on you to get back to me on that question that I asked you. I hate to do it the committee time, but I may get your attention. So please talk to me after this meeting. Thank you, colleagues.
Yep. All right, thank you. Item 30, 20R 4460, resolution by finance exec authorizing the mayor or designee to issue task order number S20014 for contract FC 10641M with Rubio and Sons Interiors, Inc. for the purpose of construction of an ammunition and supply building on behalf of the Atlanta Police Department, an amount not to exceed $183,920.39, all work to be charged to and paid from accounts listed herein and for other purposes, and the request from the department is to file. So that is my motion.
Second.
All right, let's open the vote.
Vote is open.
First item's filed, 6 yeses, 0 no's. Item 31, 20R 4461, a resolution by finance exec authorizing the mayor or designee to issue task order number S20004 for contract FC 10641H, job order contracting services small with Johnson Law Skyline, Atlanta JSC contractors for the construction and renovation of the City of Atlanta Office of the City Solicitor on behalf of the Department of Enterprise Asset Management and not to exceed $25,702.40. I'll make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
All right, this item's favorable, 6 yeses, 0 no's. Brings us to our first airport paper, and I'm going to do the 3 airport papers in a row, so then Mr. Selden can get on to some meetings he has. First one is 32, 20R 4462, a resolution by finance exec authorizing the mayor who designee on behalf of the City of Atlanta to execute SS-S 1210042 airport benchmarking passenger satisfaction survey with Airports Council International pursuant to Section 2-1191 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, sole source procurement to provide customer service benchmarking services at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, amount not to exceed $325,000. All contracted work will be charged to and paid from FDOA as listed herein and for other purposes. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, and Mr. Selden is with us if anybody has questions. But hearing none, let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
Mr. Westmoreland, are you with us? All right, this item's favorable, 6 yeses, 0 no's. Item number 33 is 20R 4463, a resolution by finance exec authorizing the mayor or designee to execute a sole source agreement for SS-S-1210060 with GCR Inc. pursuant to 2-1191 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances to operate Airport IQ Safety Management System software at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport for a term of 3 years with one option for a 3-year term renewal, an amount not to exceed $107,866 to be charged to and paid from account numbers listed herein for other purposes. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right. Hearing no questions from Mr. Selden, let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
All right, this item is favorable, 6 yeses, 0 no's. We're going to jump down to item number 53, which is on our held papers. Mr. Selden had one that he's ready to move forward on, and I'm going to let him do that now. So item 53 is, and we will have a substitute for this, but let me read the caption first. 20R4326, a resolution by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor or designee to execute a professional services agreement with Avius America LLC, SPS 1210011, pursuant to Section 2-1191.1 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, special procurement to operate airport survey solutions at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport in an amount not to exceed $2,923,908. All services will be charged to and paid from FDOA is listed herein and for other purposes. We have a substitute that we're going to bring forward that changes this from a special to a sole source and adds the iPro on there. Ms. Kempson, right? Does it change?
3 years.
So do I need to read it's the only difference in the caption? It says sole source instead of special?
Yes, ma'am, and it just references the specific code section. But that is the only change. And it adds the actual terms of the agreement there. There's no change to the dollar amount.
Okay. Okay, so that was a motion for bring forward the substitute by Ide, a second by Shook. Let's open the vote on the substitute.
The vote is open.
All right, substitute was favorable, 6 yeses, 0 no's, so the substitute is now before us. I'll make a motion to approve on substitute.
Second.
All right, let's open the vote on that, and
the vote is open.
All right, this item was favorable on substitute, 6 yeses, 0 no's. Thank you for being with us today, Mr. Selden, and nobody had any questions for you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You are welcome. All right, this is going to jump us back, I believe, to 34, which is 20R4464, a resolution by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor designee to enter into Amendment Number 1 to FC 10640, Job Order Contracting Services Large with contractors Astra, Rohadix Fox, Bryson, Joint Venture, Johnson Lao Skyline, Kittsburg Park Fry, and Beatty Construction JV, P2K and Lepco, a joint venture, and Sierra Gresham JV, to add the Department of Aviation and the Department of Watershed Management as authorized users of these contracts on a task order basis and for other purposes. It needs an amendment to add an additional contractor. Let me just see if okay, so I'm going to make the amendment that's in our packet to add an additional contractor to the paper.
Second, Westmoreland.
All right. And Ms. Kempson, right, should we do the amendment on this one, or is the amendment on 34 and 35 is the same amendment?
The amendment on 34 and 35 are the exact same amendments. You're amending to add contractor G. Winter Johnson Group to the caption, third whereas clause in the binding clause section.
Okay, so let me read the caption for 35 as well, and then we can take these two together. 35 is 20R4465, a resolution by Finance Executive Committee authorizing the mayor or designee to enter into Amendment Number 1 to FC 10641, Job Order Contracting Services Small with Contractors, Beatty Construction, Inc., Brown & Reed Industrial Services, Bryson Constructors, Craftsman Business Interiors, FH Passion, S.M. Nielsen & Associates, Greenheart Construction, Inc., HDR Construction, Inc., Johnson Law Skyline, Atlanta, JOC Contractors, LLC, JSC Construction, LLC, Kisper Parker Fry, JV, Lefco Development, Inc., doing business as Lefco Construction, Precision 2000, Inc., Rubio & Sons Interiors, Inc., and SoCo Contracting Company, Inc., to add the Department of Aviation and Department of Watershed Management as authorized users of these contracts on a task order basis and for other purposes. So it is the same amendment to both 34 and 35 as stated by Ms. Kempson, right? Mr. Shook, do you want to speak to before we add the contractor, or do you want to speak to the paper once it's been amended?
Well, no, I have a question about the second paper, and I kind of lost out here on Greenviewer, but Who are the contractors again for the second paper?
The second paper reads with contractors: Beatty Construction, Inc., Brown and Root Industrial Services, LLC, Bryson Constructors, Inc., Craftsman Business Interiors, Inc., FH Passion, SN Nielsen and Associates, LLC, Greenheart Construction, Inc., HCR Construction, Inc., Johnson Law Skyline, Atlanta JOC Contractors, LLC, JOC Construction, LLC, Kisper Parker 5, JZ, Lefco Development, Inc., doing business as Lefco Construction, Precision 2000, Inc., Rubio and Sons Interiors, Inc., and SoCo Contracting Company, Inc. And Ms. Kempson, right, will you say again who is being added with the amendment?
Yes, it's Winter Johnson Group. It's contractor G.
Okay.
I'm going to ask for a division of the vote, please.
Okay, so let's do 34 first, bringing forth the amendment on 34. There a second to amend 34 to add Winter Johnson as an additional contractor?
Second, Matt. Okay.
Is
Okay.
34 the second of the two?
34 is the first of the two.
All right, thank you.
All right, so let's vote on amending 34, which was the large contract.
The vote is open.
Okay, so we had 5 yeses with 1 abstention. That is Mr. Shook is the abstention. Mr. Shook, do you want to speak to your abstention? And that was just on the amendment.
Yeah, that was on the amendment. I'll abstain also on the main question as I have some more due diligence to do. Thank you.
Okay, so let's vote on 34 on the paper as amended. Or we also have Mr. Davis, Chris Davis here if you have questions, Mr. Shook.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, well, I'll make a motion to approve as amended.
Second, Westmoreland.
All right, let's open the vote on the paper as amended.
The vote is open.
Okay, this item was favorable, 5 yeses with 1 abstention by Mr. Shook. This brings us to 35, that I've already read the caption. It was the same amendment to add the additional contractor to the list of contractors.
Shook seconds.
Okay, let's open the vote on the amendment.
The vote is open.
All right, the amendment was 6 yeses, 0 noes. Make a motion to approve as amended.
Shook seconds.
Let's open the vote on that.
Vote is open.
All right, that item is favorable, 6 yeses, 0 noes. That brings us down to item number 30. This brings us to our dual referred items. We have a couple of items that came out of other committees. Item number 36 is 20-1619. An ordinance by Councilmembers Matt Westmoreland and Jennifer Ide directing the Chief Financial Officer to refund the balance of the funds donated by Virginia Highland Church remaining in the trust fund created for donations for the benefit of the Office of the Public Defender pursuant to Ordinance 18-01079 and for other purposes. And this item had been dual referred and had gone to Public Safety, Legal Administration, and it was favorable out of Public Safety earlier this week. So I will make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, let's open the vote.
The vote is open.
That is favorable, 6 yeses, 0 noes. Looks like 37 stayed in community development. It looks like 38 stayed in public safety, as did 39. We are down to, let's see what else we have before we're done. Is 52 our next item, Ms. Kempson, right?
Yes, Madam Chair, it's item number 52.
Okay. So if you scroll all the way down your agenda, we've gotten to our water refund paper. 20R4266, a resolution by Councilmember Howard Shook authorizing the Chief Financial Officer to refund customers for overpayments to water and sewer accounts in an amount of blank, all funds to be charged to and paid from Fund Department organizations and account numbers 5051 and wastewater revenue fund 00001, balance sheet default 122-60009, refund payable for other purposes. We have a substitute that's going to add the amount and the conditions and refunds and Exhibit A. And I apologize again on technical difficulty. I believe that the amount we need to fill in is $1,387,203.39. So I will make a motion to substitute to fill in that amount and to add Exhibit A.
Sure.
Okay. Did I get the correct amount, Ms. Kempson, right? That may not be for this paper. That may have been for the year.
No, that's for the year. The correct amount is $68,117.37.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's open the vote on the substitute to add the amount in the exhibit.
The vote is open.
All right, is Mr. Massacote still with us?
Yeah, sorry, approved.
Okay, so let's record him as a yes. All right, the substitute was 6 yeses, 0 no's. So now I'll make a motion to approve on substitute.
Second.
All right, let's open the vote. Substitute.
The vote is open.
All right, this item is favorable on substitute. We did 53 when we had Mr. Selden with us. I believe we are let's see. We did 52, 53 with Mr. Selden's paper. 54 I think is ready to move. 20R4423. A resolution by Finance Exec authorizing the mayor or designee to enter into special procurement agreement SPS 1200417 pursuant to Section 2-1191.1 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances with Pratt Recycling, Inc., Recyclables Processing Services, a qualified materials recovery facility to process, use, and market recyclable materials generated within the City of Atlanta on behalf of the Department of Public Works for 1 year with one-year renewal option in an amount not to exceed $1,500,000. All contracted work to be charged to and paid from the fund, department, organization, account numbers, and security for other purposes. And I believe that we need to amend to add the IPRO report. So I'll make that amendment, and that was in our package.
Second.
All right, let's open the vote on the amendment.
The vote is open.
All right, that was 6 yeses, 0 no's on the amendment. I'll make a motion to approve as amended.
Second.
Open the vote.
The vote is open.
All right, this item is favorable as amended. 6 yeses, 0 noes, and I think we've done it. I think that was the last item that was ready to go. Did I get everything, Santana?
Yes, Madam Chair, we got everything.
Okay. I have one announcement, just a reminder that we do have that specially called meeting tomorrow, Thursday, October 15th at 9 a.m. To consider the watershed bonds paper that we referred over there. So you, for members of the public listening in, that is available, the dial-in information either on the City Council webpage, and the City Council will push it out to their social media as well. But if you go to City of Atlanta City Council website, you'll be able to see how you can call in and listen to that meeting. Tomorrow at 9. And Mr. Shook, do you have your hand up?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I have no announcements at this time.
Just checking in. Thank you for being with us today, Mr. Shook. If nobody else has nothing to say, then I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, everybody have a good afternoon.
You as well. Thanks.
Great, everybody.